Today I'm going to be talking about communication in the business world. I'm going to be talking about why communication is the most important skill to use today, and how communication is used, like the different tools that we use, and how you can improve while using those tools. Why communication is important is because it increases productivity of the employee. Like an example is at my job, UPS, where I work, we have to unload like 5 trailers a day. My manager tells me where to go, and so that helps me stay on task and be productive. It also helps employees be engaged, because if employees are communicated goals, they will know what to do, and it keeps them engaged in their work life. It also helps different departments work together well if they communicate well. Then if they don't communicate well, like say an example is payroll. If payroll doesn't communicate well with other departments, then some people might not get paid, and that would be a really bad thing. Another thing it helps with is turnover. So like with when I'm working at UPS, we have to work extreme overtime during Christmas because everybody's shipping things. So if that's not communicated to me, then I probably would have quit because I couldn't handle the amount of hours that I had to work. Another thing is customer service. So if customer service, if somebody has a 15-day return policy, then the most companies have a 30, and the customer isn't communicated that, then they'll probably be mad when they try to return it at 20 days. The different ways communication is used is email. Email is probably the most important way that the most used and most important way to learn how to communicate. And reports are used like for things like employee evaluations to communicate to an employee how they need to change their behavior, or what they're doing wrong or what they're doing right. Another thing is interviews. Interviews are really used to check in with employees to see how they're doing or communicate goals to them of what they need to work on and how they can improve. Another thing is meetings. Meetings are used in all kinds of businesses. When I worked at Arby's, we used to have a meeting every quarter to communicate to us what sandwiches we needed to learn to make for that quarter and how we were doing with customers on the surveys. Another thing is presentations, and presentations are really just used to provide information to different kinds of people, like say your boss or a different company that you're working with. Alright, the ways that you can improve on communication is to make sure you know when to do one-on-one communication. So make sure you know, like if somebody needs to be reprimanded, make sure to pull that person aside, because you don't want to like call them out in front of everybody at work. It can make everything really uncomfortable. So just pull them aside and talk to them one-on-one. Another thing is listening. Listening is really important part in the employee-manager relationship. They both need to be really good at listening, otherwise the relationship just doesn't work, and somebody will probably quit or be fired. Another thing is adapting to like who you're talking to. So if you're talking to an employee that's at your same level, you can probably be more friendly or like talk with them less professionally. But if you're talking with a manager, you need to make sure that you're professional and treat them with respect. Another thing is timing. If you're a manager, you don't want to tell your employees something at the end of the day while they're leaving, because they probably won't be listening. So you need to make sure to tell them the right thing at the right time. Alright, and another thing that a lot of people struggle with is emails. Emails are probably the most important part of communication, and they're easy to mess up because things can be misinterpreted in them. The thing that you need to do is start with a professional salutation, like saying hi or hello and then the person's name. Just starts off the email in a friendly and a professional way. Another thing is have a clear subject line, and this helps the person reading the email to know what they're getting into and why they need to read that email. Another thing is try to avoid humor in emails, because it can just lead to you looking unprofessional, or it can be misinterpreted and be taken the wrong way. So it's best to just avoid it in general. And probably the most important thing is to make sure that your spelling and grammar is good, because if your spelling and grammar is good, it makes you look, or isn't good, it makes you look unprofessional. So you need to double and triple check those things. So in conclusion, communication is really a key thing because it helps communicate company goals and then expectations to employees so they'll be able to stay there longer, and it's really important for that. And also it helps with a customer's experience, which in turn helps you profit as a company. So if there's not good communication with customers, it can lead to less money. And also it helps build a good work culture and sustainability. So it helps your employees stay there longer because it costs a lot of money to train employees. So it's better if you just keep them there. And thank you.